guys, it's Samantha and welcome back to my channel. And do a little bit of an author spotlight video. This is my first time doing an author spotlight video, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to go, but it's definitely something that I've been wanting to try. And the author that I'm going to be talking about today is Katherine Center. So Katherine Center is a romance author. I would classify her as romance, and she writes cute little fluffy corny books that are usually a pretty small in size and quick reads. And since 2018, her 3 releases since then have been made part of Book of the Month, and that's actually how I discovered her and how I got into her books. So in 2018 she came out with her novel How to Walk Away, which is my favorite of all her books. I do have the Book of the Month version of this, but I got a signed copy from Target because I needed to have it. This book quickly became my favorite book of 2018, and to this day is one of my favorites of all time. So this book follows our main character, Maggie. Her full name is Margaret, and she goes on a plane ride with her boyfriend Chip, who is trained to be a pilot, and he ends up proposing to her, and they go for a flight, and the plane actually ends up crashing, and Maggie ends up becoming paralyzed from the waist down because of this accident. So Chip goes to see her in the hospital, where she stays for a long period of time and is begging her to forgive him, and then decides that he can't be with her because of her injury, and she gets really mad because he's the one who caused it to her. And then we meet Ian, who is the physical therapist that's been assigned to work with Maggie, and Maggie wants nothing to do with him. She's given up all hope of ever walking again, and he is very rough on the edges, and he pushes her and pushes her and pushes her, and she doesn't like it. So the more she starts to work with him, the more she realizes there's more to him than meets the eye. This book was so good. It was so emotional. I'm pretty sure I cried when I read this. The storyline is great. I love the idea of this plane crash and then how she finds love in the most unexpected of places. The characters are very relatable. The banter between Ian and Maggie is delicious, and it is a light, corny read. So a lot of her books can be pretty predictable because they're typical enemies to lovers or second chance romances, but I actually don't mind that because sometimes that is exactly what I need to be able to get out of a reading slump, and this book really changed me in so many ways, and I have 2 copies of this because I just need it. And the book that I have by her was her 2019 release, and that is Things You Save in a Fire. So this was a Book of the Month pick for last July, and the covers are pretty similar. I like that she has these kind of floral designs. And this book follows our main character, Casey, who is a firefighter in Texas, and she has a strange relationship with her mother and ends up having to go to Boston to help care for her mom, who's really sick. So she reluctantly moves and has to help take care of her mom, and she applies to a fire station in Boston. She gets hired, but she's the only girl on their squad, and the squad is not used to having girls, so she goes through a lot of hazing, and they really feel like she can't compete with them, and she ends up being challenged with another new firefighter named Owen, and they're both considered rookies, and the squad is only going to keep one of them, and Owen comes from a long line of firefighters, so the goal is to keep him on the squad and get rid of Cassie, but Cassie doesn't know that because the bar for Owen is set really high, and he basically has grandfathered himself in. So through this, we see Cassie and Owen go through the hazing period with the squad and see how they develop a friendship quickly because of that, which eventually turns into a super cute romance. And I love the premises of the fire station and learning about firefighters. You can tell Katherine Center did a lot of research going into this and kind of what their lives look like. It was fun being able to see Owen's character develop and find out that he is not what he seems and maybe doesn't want what everyone thinks that he wants. And he was so sweet to Cassie. Like, his devotion to her was beautiful. And we also deal with the topic of sexual assault in this story as well. It handles that topic really well. So this does come across as just a romance, but there are so many other themes to this book that are in the background away from the forefront of the romance, which I thought Katherine Center did a really great job of intertwining that with the romance story, because this book still makes you feel good. It's funny, it's cute, it's so predictable, but this is definitely such a good read. And then the last book that I have that I actually just finished by her also came out this month from Book of the Month, and that is What You Wish For. Again, with the floral cover, which I love. This follows our main character, Samantha, who is a librarian at this school called the Katherine School in Texas. She is living with the principal of the school and his wife, who have kind of become adopted parents for her because her mother is no longer living and she doesn't have a relationship with her dad. And then the principal of the school, who is like her father, ends up passing away, so they replace him with this guy named Duncan. And Sam actually knew Duncan from her previous job and is super excited to see that he's coming, but also nervous because she left her whole job because she was in love with him and he basically made her leave because she felt like he didn't see her and she was invisible and she couldn't deal with that. So she ends up moving, and Duncan ends up coming in, and when he was a teacher, he was full of fun. He loved playing jokes with the kids, dressing funny, super laid back. The Duncan that shows up is the complete opposite and very rigid and rough on the surface. So she wants to figure out like what the heck is going on and get to the bottom of it, and we learn why Duncan's the way he is and about his own past, and then he learns to open up again and learns to get back to his old self, and through that him and Sam develop a romance. It was really cute. I liked that it dealt with his past and some of the stuff and the grief that both of them were working through. And I also liked how the main character Sam has epilepsy, and you got to see that in the book as well. And it was really nice to learn more about that and how Duncan was also learning about that too. And their romance was super slow. They really didn't get together for a while. And you could just see them going from like not recognizing each other to recognizing each other to slowly becoming friends to falling into a romance. And I would consider this more of a second chance romance. It was fun, and I devoured it because it was so short, and I just loved the writing, and the banter between Sam and Duncan was funny, which is a theme in all of the 3 books that she's written, and I really enjoyed it. So those are the 3 books by Katherine Center that I wanted to talk about. She does have a lot of other books out. One book she has out is Happiness for Beginners, which actually is considered a prequel to What You Wish For because it follows Duncan and his sister, Hope. So I'm hoping to pick that up soon, but I highly recommend picking up her books if you're just looking for something quick. Maybe you're in a reading slump and need something to cheer you up and make you laugh, then her books are definitely the best way to go.